and welcome to La Luna. I'm Crypto Chrissie, and I'm really excited to share with you 4 really amazing people that I follow on YouTube in regards to teaching me about technical analysis and how I can get good entry points to buy in using my US dollars, and also how I can trade my Bitcoin for altcoins if I want to take a small portion of my portfolio and do that to hopefully make larger gains in Bitcoin as I play the market. It's a lot safer to just hold your investments. Investment means that you are buying an asset and you're holding it at least a year or longer. And trading means that you're selling it prior to that for other altcoins or even cashing out. So I am excited to share with you different ways you can read the market in regards to when should you be selling or buying either Bitcoin or US dollars, and some people that can really teach you about what that all means and what to look for and what the probabilities are. There's no guarantees, but there's probabilities, and it's really exciting to learn about this. So let's get started. The first person I'm going to introduce you to is Alessio Rastani. He's very respectable. He has a great YouTube channel, and he also has like a free newsletter that you can sign up for called Leading Trader. And he has a membership site that you can join, I believe, also. He's based out of England, but he travels a lot, does a lot of videos showing where he's at, and interviews other traders too that are his friends. And he just has a lot of really great information. He's created, I believe, some tools for doing technical analysis too. So here's Alessio.
All right, so the question we're asking is, could this be the start, finally, of the correction, the retracement on Bitcoin down to the key moving averages, for example, the weekly moving averages, the 21 weekly average as an example? I think, yes, it could be. And I think there's a high probability that we have now started the retracement, the correction down to the weekly 21 moving average, or indeed the 100 daily moving average, which is also a key support level. Now, there are some important reasons as to why I think we have started the correction, the retracement down to the key moving averages. The first reason, as I just mentioned earlier, is because we've hit the golden ratio, the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, again, a key level of resistance where Bitcoin usually pulls back from. The second reason is that the monthly RSI has been overbought now for some time. And usually when RSI gets overbought, usually we see those kind of pullbacks, retracement. The third reason is we've broken some key structural levels just very close to us right now, near the 11,000 levels. The fourth reason, which is also quite important, is that the monthly pulse momentum, which is, has been just increasing higher and higher for some time. I think now we've reached the level where the momentum on the pulse could be starting to dissipate. So because the average pulse momentum lasts about 10 bars, usually we see after the momentum comes to a certain level, we see the sort of dissipation, the diminishing of the momentum. And when the weekly momentum starts to diminish, then we could start to see some kind of pullback, some kind of retracement. So if this really is the start of the correction or retracement in Bitcoin down to the 21 weekly average, and by the way, in case you're wondering why the 21 weekly average, because as we saw in the previous video, this is a level that Bitcoin comes to test over and over again. Usually in a bull market or uptrend, Bitcoin, and indeed any market, usually comes back down to test the 21 weekly average and then holds that support level and then starts to bounce off and move higher again, continuing the uptrend. So if this is an uptrend or indeed a bull market in Bitcoin, then we want to see that kind of retracement down to the 21 weekly average. And by the way, if you're bullish on Bitcoin, then you really do want this correction, this retracement on Bitcoin down to the moving averages. Because if Bitcoin does not start correcting, if it does not start retracing soon, and instead quickly goes back up again, back above the 13,500, above the 14,000 levels, which I think is quite unlikely at the present moment. But if it does that, if it just continues to push higher very quickly soon, then that is actually bad news for Bitcoin, because if it keeps going higher without a correction, then that actually becomes a problem because the move becomes highly unstable. As I mentioned in the previous video, if Bitcoin does not start correcting or start retracing, the parabolic movement and indeed the massive increase in acceleration in Bitcoin could make that move quite unstable, and the result usually is quite devastating. The actual eventual drop becomes far more serious. Now, if this really is the start of a correction or retracement in Bitcoin, which I think is quite probable, then I think what we should probably see is some kind of a 3-step correction, some kind of a zigzag or a
trader I'd like to introduce you to is Nicolas Merton, whose channel is called Data Dash. And he is exceptional. I love Nicolas Merton. I feel like he's my friend, and he's just such a nice guy. And it's really sad. In this video clip I'm going to show you, he's clearly has a cold, so I feel kind of sorry for him. But anyways, he also has sponsors that sponsor his channel. So sometimes he's talking about different things in regards to the cryptocurrency market, and he gets money for that. So that's one thing about his channel that it's important to know. And he's really clear and transparent about that. And also, Nicholas has a newsletter, I believe, that you can sign up for also. And yeah, so here's Nicolas Merton, Data Dash.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicolas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is July 1st of 2019. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and in today's video, I want to spend some time to not only talk about the Bitcoin correction, but also dive into some levels that I'm looking to add into, as well as some levels I'm looking at too, and if price stops correcting and continues to go upward. The chart is telling us. So the major thing you want to look for here in the next few hours is to see if we're going to break below this range here where we had support around 10,400. But again, we can't see it just yet. We have to wait until the market decides that. But it does look like it's getting pretty decisive on its direction, and I think that this correction is going to be quite a sharp one because of the fact that we've had such a parabolic rally. Now, what are the ranges that we can look for, guys? Well, the range I'm looking for here is between two key even levels, 10,000 to 9,000 here. And I'm not going to get too picky about getting it at that low range or waiting for 6,000 or 7,000. As much as I'd like to see that, guys, I mean, we have to talk about how much of a correction that's going to be. If we were to get a correction down to the 6 or 7K range, this is talking about a 50% correction. We usually don't historically see that with Bitcoin. Then again, some people would make the argument that we historically haven't seen Bitcoin come out of its, consolidation or accumulation phase with a 333% rally like we saw, right? I mean, this is pretty quick to exit out, and this is a very short accumulation period for Bitcoin. So again, we might get something like that. To be fair, if we do get a correction of 40, 50K, I'm going to work as hard as I can to have some cash on the side to hopefully pack in and buy some extra Bitcoin. But the fact of the matter is that if we were to get down to this range of 9,000, the reason why I'm confident on this price being a target on where we can see Bitcoin go is because it's going to lead us towards a 35% correction, which is going to be very fitting in the sense that we tend to see 30 to 40% corrections in the past with Bitcoin in its previous cycles, and it's right in the middle of that range. So I'd like to see it. Not to mention as well, we also held support around this range, not only here before we took off, but also around here. This was previous resistance, so it'd be good to see it as support. So again, I think this is the range we can look for here, and the reason I have this boxed in range here between July and August is I think we're going to set the low soon, guys. This market's moving very, very quick, and I think the correction will be very quick as well, but the rebound will follow through as well. Buyers, for example, if people are willing to buy Bitcoin between 12,000 to 13,000, they're sure as hell going to be eager to buy it around 9,000 to 8,000, right? That's the whole saying is, if you loved it at this price, you're sure as hell going to love it at this price as well. So I know, again, it's not the 6K level a lot of us were hoping for, but that's just at least where I'm waiting for. You guys can wait if you want. The key fact of the matter is that I have two levels that I'm watching. I'm watching in this range. If Bitcoin comes in this range and starts to decline through, I'm going to hopefully wait, get it around 9,000. But if it starts to curve up and touch the top of the box after entering in, meaning if it goes back above 10,000, I'm going to force into the order. I'm going to buy into the market. And then along with that as well, the other level that I'm looking for is if we don't decline at below 10K and we start to rise back up here above this line, as much as I'm anticipating for this correction to go through, we might bounce up and then come back down. I have a buy order as well in case we go to 11,500. So again, wouldn't be the optimal level that I want, but I'm keeping open to it as well. I just know that I have my level set for when I want to enter in back to Bitcoin. I am building up some cash on the side, and hopefully we'll be able to add into our positions, and I think that's what you guys should focus on as well. In this accumulation phase, don't try to get it at the best price. Just simply focus on building up your position before the rocket ship takes off. That's the key lesson here. You don't want to wait for levels too much. Again, that's if you want to long Bitcoin. I'm not advising you guys buy Bitcoin, but you guys got to determine that for yourself.
Trader I'm going to introduce you to is Carl the Moon. And he's a recent person that I just discovered maybe a month or two ago. And I listen to him every day. He does daily YouTube videos about what's currently happening in the market. In fact, when I wake up, I just listen to Carl to find out, okay, what's the pulse on the market? And it just is really good information for me to kind of know if I need to do anything or how I want to proceed. And he does a lot of margin trading, which I'm not into at all. I'm not even allowed to participate being a U.S. citizen, but he talks a lot about that. But really the overall view of what's going in the market, he talks about too. And I think all of his information is free, even though he has affiliate links so that he can, I think, make a little bit of money being a YouTuber in this environment. So anyways, here's Carl.
Hello guys and welcome to the moon. My name is Carl. I'm going to bring this cryptocurrency video. Bulls are trying to actually break back above the 11.5k, and this is now going to be a major resistance for the bulls. So that's basically what is happening right now. And I actually want to go over to the Bitcoin futures chart because I think that this is a very nice chart to take a look at, not only because of the fact that we do have these gaps here that are going to be very important to take a look at, but also it seems like many indicators actually make more sense on the futures chart, including the EMA ribbon. Exactly why that is, I'm not 100% sure. So let's actually bring out the EMA ribbon on the, we can take a look at the 1 hour time frame. Let's begin with that one. And so this is the Bitcoin futures over on CME, and what we can see is that in this blow off top here we did see Bitcoin actually bounce twice there, and now that we broke down below it, this should now act as resistance in the way that I trade this EMA ribbon. And you can see that we did see two very nice bounces off of it right there, and currently we're seeing one there and also one right there. So we are right now below the 1 hour ribbon, which tells us that it should act as resistance, and as long as we are right now below it, this should continue to act as resistance. And this also means that if the bulls would be able to actually break above this 1 hour EMA ribbon, then that would be short-term strength for the bulls. But in this exact moment, we can see that the bears are absolutely in control. And if we go to the 4 hourly, Bitcoin did actually get a very nice bounce off of the bottom range of this 4 hourly ribbon, and ever since we have seen this nice little bounce attempt, and the question is, where is the top in the current bounce attempt? But if this starts to roll over here and we eventually break the bottom of the 4 hourly ribbon, that would to me be further confirmation that we are in this bigger correction that I currently assume that we are in. And in the immediate future, I would be looking for a closure of this gap right there, and the bottom range of this gap is actually approximately the 10k level. So that would be my short-term target in this current bear trend. And like I've said for the past few days, the bottom range I'm looking for as a target in this correction is actually down here, and that would be between $7,200 and $8,500. This would be my target zone. I don't think we will go below this zone. I think that this range down here is not likely at all to be reached. And we can see also that we did come in and closed this gap that I talked about, and the range there was actually 11,500. So we did actually get that. So I talked about in a few videos back that this gap is very likely to be filled in the very short term, and that was the 11.5k level, and we did actually come down and fill the gap. And like I said, the next gap is actually the 10k one. We do have several gaps. And if we were to come down into the bottom of this range, then that would actually be a filling of this gap and this gap. And why do these gaps have to be filled? Well, they don't have to, but in any market around the world, they usually do get filled in the not so distant future. This is not a 100% guarantee, but they usually do get filled very soon after they are actually created. And it's a way for the market to come back and test these regions because there's no trading activity in it, and the market just seems to want to come down and retest these regions after we have created gaps. And exactly why this is, I'm not sure if anyone has the perfect answer, but the fact that gaps do get filled very easily in the not so distant future is a well-known fact. And
our fourth YouTuber I'm going to introduce today is MMCrypto and DaVinci J15, who do YouTube videos together, and they're a really good team. Actually, I've really enjoyed listening to their YouTube videos and learning like what's happening in the market and what their perspective is. And I've learned a whole lot, and they're really fun, and it's really informative to listen to their channel. They're also into the margin trading that I'm not so into, but I still listen to it just to kind of get where they feel like the market's going and kind of what to look out for. And they're just really good ones to follow. So here they are.
The markets are going crazy. You requested it, so there we are with DaVinci J15, and today we will exactly talk about what DaVinci's price targets for Bitcoin are at the downside, where he is trying and planning to scale back into Bitcoin, and what exactly might happen to Bitcoin afterwards when it's going to the upside. Also, we will talk about the altcoin section and which exact type of altcoins will be tend to pump the hardest. We will exactly talk about that. So if you are looking forward to that, take a seat, smash up the like button, and already start leaving your favorite altcoins in the comment section, and thumb up other altcoins which you like also from other comments. So that being said, thank you so much for being here. Also, thank you to you, DaVinci, and we want to come to the very most important question of today. DaVinci J15, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, thanks, Chris. My legs healed a lot. I noticed that I'm able to do a bit of high-intensity exercises now, so that's great. I'm looking forward to that because I want to lose some weight, and Jesus, man, because I'm like way overweight.
You look very good, DaVinci. There are so many people always commenting like as the time passes, more and more people are commenting how healthy and wealthy you actually look, like your skin is very good. So we are very happy to see you, like your health improving more and more. Very, very nice to see that.
We have the bigger picture here, and what I've drawn from last night is the reload zone, where we're going to or trade location, whatever you want to call it, where you can actually where the price could head back down to and bounce off of, most likely. You know, we could do the 61.8 ping pong, right, and be stuck in this range for quite some time. That could exactly happen. We could be between 7,200 and almost 14,000, like 13,800, for a very long time for the next year or so. So consider that as a possibility. when you're and that'd be great, actually, because that'd be a trader's market. You can you could go long here, go short up here, and do the 61.8 all through this cycle. That would be awesome if we could see that, and good for Bitcoin in the long term, because then once we do jet up to the new highs, we're going to be even higher. We're going to go higher than 100,000, and everybody loves higher prices, right?
Of course. If we are in, otherwise we like cheap numbers, of course.
But for now, we want to buy it cheap, so we want to collect as much Bitcoin down here before it gets up to the $250,000 levels. Don't you?
Exactly. Even 350, that's the price we are looking out for.
Wow, 350. That's your moon boyish price?
Yeah, man, you know, we have the moon boy blood. We have to put a premium on your prediction always.
So, anyways, Bitcoin on the lower time frames, right? If we go down to lower time frames, you can see that we've reversed here and broken out of a serious downward trend channel here.
Hope you enjoyed meeting these 5 awesome YouTubers and traders who are really great at educating people about what's going on in the market. And even though there's no guarantees, there's probabilities, and there is a place for using technical analysis. But a lot of people also say, because of the volatility, it's also really hard to predict what the highs are going to be and what the very lows are going to be. So it's important to kind of get the pulse on what feels like good trading areas for you. And that's what I do. I synthesize all the information I get from them and even a few other people in regards to making the decisions of how I'm going to proceed in regards to trading cryptocurrency or investing in it. So I hope this was really helpful. And please let me know down below what else you would like me to talk about, and if you like this video. So remember, be true to yourself and be kind to yourself, and have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.